I have read exactly 18 books this month, and we're gonna talk about them all. I feel alive. So much more alive than I did 5 seconds ago. Yes, we're ready to ride. Hello, SHAWTY BAES. Hello, besties. It is officially the last month of January. Happy last month of the month. Oh my God, I did it again. This is the third time that I've done this today where I said the last month of January. It is officially the last day of January, and that means that we're gonna discuss all the books I talked about. What? Oh my God, start over. Hold on, rewind. Hello, SHAWTY BAES. Hello, besties. Welcome to the last year. Throw the whole video away. It is officially the last day of January. Therefore, it is January wrap-up time. I'm gonna tell you every single book I read this month and what I rated them, a little summary of each with no spoilers, and just my thoughts in general. It's just a little fun, swell time we have as besties every single month. So go get your coffee, sit back, relax, and let's do it. First and foremost, these books I'm not going to be discussing because I finished my MZ binge, right? So these were the books I read / reread. Lingus, The Best Thing, Rhythm, Chord, and Malakin, hands down, and Dear Aaron. I am not going to be discussing these because I just posted a whole MZ video where I talk about every single one of these, what I rated them, summary, just I go into everything there is to know about these books. So I'm not going to be discussing it right now. If you want to know anything, just go to that video and watch it. It's the one right before this. Besides those books, those I read sporadically throughout the month, but since we're not going to be talking about them, I just put them up front. In the first 2 weeks of the month, I was in a huge reading slump because I had just finished Some Kind of Perfect, which was the end of the Addicted Calloway Sister series. And you guys know how attached I am to that series, so it really hurt me. I couldn't read anything. I kept trying, but nothing was clicking, nothing was working for me. And so for the first 2 weeks, I just watched Reign and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And that's pretty much how I lived my life. And you know what? No regrets. However, after those first 2 weeks of pure pain of not reading anything, I started out by reading Scarred by Emily McIntyre. So I'm sure you've seen me talk about Hooked before, but Hooked is the first book in the Never After series and Scarred is the second one. Now, these are not connected by any means. You can read them as standalones. They are standalones. They are just part of the Never After series. So Hooked was about Captain Hook and Wendy, and I've talked about it enough. You know, I love that book. So I was very excited for Scarred. And Scarred is a Lion King retelling kind of thing. It's not a retelling per se, but it has Lion King sprinkles throughout, if that makes sense. So in Scarred, you have Sarah B and you have Tristan, and it is dual POV. Tristan is sort of an outcast prince. His brother is the one that takes the throne after their father passes away, and his brother is the one that has it all, and Tristan is the one that's kind of looked over. He's called the Scarred Prince. Everyone kind of fears him. Nobody really likes him. He is basically an outcast. Scar. You picking up what I'm putting down? Like Scar from the Lion King? Yeah. If you ever wanted to have a romance with Scar from the Lion King, look no farther, because this one's got it. Not as a lion, as a person, as a human, as like a dark, twisted anti-hero. You get me. So that's Tristan. And then you have Sarah B. Sarah B wants revenge on this family because of something that happened to her own, and she is set to marry the prince that's about to take the crown. However, she's got her eyes set on Tristan instead. Y'all, listen, it's not a love triangle. Don't worry, it is not. Y'all know that I'm not a fan of love triangles. This book was so good. This was more of a slow burn than Hooked was. The only problem I had with Hooked is it felt very insta-lovey, and Wendy was very fragile and innocent, and I wanted her to be more badass. Every problem I had with Hooked was fixed in Scarred. I loved it. It was so good. It was very slow burn. Sarah B was the baddest. Tristan was the best anti-hero. The spice was immaculate. The story was amazing. The little sprinkles of Lion King throughout the book were phenomenal, like Mufasa, Scar, Simba. All of it was incredible. Would highly recommend you read this entire series. There's only 2 books, but so far it's still going. The Never After series. I rated it 4.75. It just didn't give me that full 5-star feeling. You know what I mean? I wanted a little bit more of deeper connections within Tristan and Sarah, even though they did have that. I wanted a little bit more to get it to a 5-star, but I still loved every second. It was still a 4.75. As you can see, I loved it, as I've said 5 million times so far. And the cover, beautiful. So why would you not want this in your shelf, you know? After that, I read something that finally, it is about time. It was sort of embarrassing that I hadn't read it so far, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Klein. That's not the first time I do that either. I called her Madeline Klein. It's not Madeline Klein. It's Madeline Miller. But for some reason, I keep calling her Madeline Klein, who is the actress from Outer Banks. Like, it's not even... Anyway, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I finally read it. So this one's obviously a Greek mythology, fiction, romance type of story. It is kind of a retelling of Achilles and Patroclus. If you like Greek mythology like I do, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It is the War of Sparta, and this is basically the Greeks going to get Helen from Sparta because she is kidnapped, and it is told from Patroclus' point of view, and he follows Achilles to that war. So that's basically what this book is about. I rated it a 4-star, and let me explain myself. I know a lot of people are obsessed with this book, and I did like it. It was beautifully written. Like, it is poetic almost how beautiful this book is written. The writing was phenomenal, and I did love that part. The beginning was a little bit too slow for me. Like, it took me a while to get into it, but I did really love it, and I loved seeing the connection between Achilles and Patroclus, and it was a beautiful, heartbreaking story. And the end, I feel like I'm kind of in the minority that actually really liked it. Like, a lot of people say that this book is heartbreaking and it is really sad, and I would agree with that, but I liked the ending. I thought the ending was beautiful for everybody involved. Like, I thought it was a really poetic, like I said, beautiful ending for a amazing, astonishing couple. At least in my opinion. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't want to tell you like how I feel the ending is beautiful, but I did. I really liked it. And I enjoyed the story in general. Like I said, the writing was phenomenal. It just didn't feel like a 5-star. It felt like a 4, just because I was bored throughout a lot of it. I don't know if it's because I know a lot of the Greek mythology stories in general, so a lot of what happens in this book, she kept it very much in line with Greek mythology. So I knew what would happen with like the characters in this book, and I knew how it would end. I don't know if that's why I was a little bit bored throughout the book, or if it was just in general that I didn't really click that much. But like I said, I did love it. It just wasn't a 5, it was a 4. Next I read Maybe in Another Life, Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've been on a Taylor Jenkins Reid kick lately. I've been trying to go through her entire backlist because I love her writing and her books are really captivating to me. This book was unlike anything I've ever seen before, and I feel like I always say that whenever I read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, because she makes sure her books are so unique. Y'all, listen. This book follows Hannah Martin, and she basically does not have her life together right now. She's been living in several different states. She has been through so many different jobs. She just can't seem to settle down. And she decides that she wants to move back home to Los Angeles and go live with her friend Gabby. And one night she is out with Gabby and she runs into her first love, Ethan. And that's when the story gets interesting, because she can either take 2 routes in her life. Either she goes home with Gabby that night and just forgets about Ethan, goes home with Gabby and leaves that in the past, or she can go home with Ethan and see where that takes her and see if her first love can be her last love. You get to see both of those timelines. You get to see Hannah living both. One where she goes home with Gabby and one where she goes home with Ethan, and how her life differentiates in both timelines. I loved that. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I had a specific timeline that I was a fan of. And don't worry, every single thing I just told you is in the back of the book, so no spoilers. I rated this a 4.5 stars. The only reason I dug 5 stars is because the ending was a little bit too open-ended. I like to have answers, and this felt like it didn't have a lot at the end. I wanted more, and I don't like being left wanting more. You know what I mean? I understand, because obviously it's the concept of the book, and the concept of the book is Maybe Another Life. The concept of the book is to get you to think. But I don't want to think. I want you to write it and then for me to just consume. You know, but I loved it. If you want to be left with like a crisis at the end of a book where you're like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just read? What happened? What is going on? This is the book for you. But I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to be my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but it was still very good nonetheless. 4.5 stars. Next up, y'all, one of my favorite reads of the entire month. The most underrated dark romance ever, and I need you to listen to me and read this book, and that is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. Clearly, I loved it since I tapped every single second. Like I said, I was in a slump most of the month, and all of the books I just talked about were books I read like slowly. This one I read in one night because I could not put it down. It was astonishing. It is about Cora and Dean, and you get different point of views throughout the story in a different way than usual. Usually you would see like one point of view per chapter. This is not like that. You get like different parts of the story told from different point of views. So you do get to see what Dean and Cora are thinking throughout the story. Basically, Dean and Cora have known each other for over 15 years because he is her sister's fiance, and they have hated each other for that same amount of time. They are constantly pranking each other, being mean to each other, sabotaging. They do not like each other. But one night, Cora is out with her sister and Dean and her sister leave to go home early. And while Cora is outside, somebody steals her wallet and she can't get home. So she calls everybody, nobody's picking up, and then she calls Dean. to go take her home. As they are driving home, somebody kidnaps them. And now they are stuck in a basement together, kidnapped, no idea what to do, no idea how to get out, and they do not like each other. And on top of that, their kidnapper has plans for them that will alter their relationship forever. Oh my fucking God, is this book amazing. The angst, the tension, the mystery, the adrenaline you feel and the anxiety you feel for these characters because you just want to rescue them and you just want the best for them, and like, oh my God, I could not stop until I was done. It is amazingly, heartbreakingly beautiful. These characters go through so much. Please search up trigger warning for this book. If you are going to read it, trigger warnings everywhere. They do get kidnapped, and it is not a pretty kidnapping like we're used to. It's not like the mafia style kidnapping where we're like, oh, I'm used to falling for the kidnapper. No, this is not the case here. Please search up trigger warnings. It is amazing, phenomenal. Oh, I have no words. I have never seen a couple endure and go through such hardships as Dean and Cora did. Like, they are... Y'all, I will not stop until you read this book. Are you listening? Go read it. I don't have enough words to convey how much I adore this book. The cover and the title make so much sense once you read it. Like, the little details in the cover and why the title is the way that it is, it like clicks as you're reading the story. Still Beating plays such a big part in Dean and Cora's relationship. Oh my God, y'all, please read it. This was the perfect book. And listen, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he was her sister's fiance, I'm not gonna like it. Trust me, that's not going to be a problem for you. Just trust me. The circumstances are so incredibly different than anything you've seen in a book before. There's somebody right in front of me, y'all. He's walking his dog. Should I drink my coffee so that I don't look weird just holding up a book? Yeah. Oh, his dog's so cute. Oh my God, now he's right in front of the car. Oh my gosh. Somebody kill me. Oh my God. How do I act nonchalant? Was that nonchalant? Maybe I should wave. I definitely shouldn't wave. As I was saying, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, these characters, they deserve the entire world. Dean and Cora will stick with me until the end of time. This had some of the most amazing quotes. Finding love in such a hopeless place as they did. Trying to find that love in a healthy way also plays a big part of it. Everything this book did was amazing and it deserves so much recognition. Please go read Still Beating. I'm going to say it until y'all listen because it deserves it. 5 million stars, infinity stars. Absolutely one of my favorite reads this month. Next up is Twisted Hate by Anna Hong. Look at this cover, y'all. Tell me it is not beautiful. You would be lying. It is gorgeous. So this is the third book in the Twisted series. The first book is Twisted Love and the second book is Twisted Games. I've already talked about those, so I'm not going to discuss it here. This one is the third, Twisted Hate, and the fourth one that's coming out soon is Twisted Lies. This series, as I've told you, involves 4 best friends and each best friend gets a book. In this one, it is Josh and Jules. You see them in Twisted Love and you see how they do not like each other whatsoever. So it is an enemies to lovers. It is a best friend's brother, and it is also, are you ready? An enemies with benefits. I know. Listen, Josh is a doctor. Jules is becoming a lawyer. So already I'm in love. They have hated each other for many years. Like I said, it is best friend's brother. So Josh is Jules's best friend's brother. Yes, that makes sense. And their animosity one night just boils over. A little something occurs and Josh decides that it would be a great idea for them to do this thing where they are friends with benefits, but without the friends part. So just benefits. Enemies with benefits, some would say. And obviously, does that go well for them? We're gonna assume it doesn't. Oh my God, y'all, I loved this one. I liked Twisted Love, but I had a couple problems with Twisted Love, as I've told you many times. So I rated it a 4-star. And then Twisted Games, I really adored, and I rated it 4.5 stars. And Twisted Hate, I rated a 5. I loved every second. It did not feel like it was this long when I read it because I read the arc, so I only got my copy yesterday. It did not feel like it was long whatsoever, but it's actually literally, I think, 500 pages. Yeah, it's 500 pages. It did not feel like that because I loved every second. Josh and Jules are everything. Josh Chen, Dr. Joshua Chen. No words came out. Dr. Joshua Chen is everything. And Jules Ambrose, I loved her so much. They got really deep in this book, which I really enjoyed. We got to know them to a deeper level, them separately and them together. They found peace in each other's violence kind of thing. I found peace in your violence. Can't show me there's no point to try. That is my #1 favorite song. It's called Silence by Khalid and Marshmello, in case you didn't know. Anyway, moving on. 5 stars. Did I mention that? So y'all, I did something this month. Did something important. I finally read Where the Crawdads Sing. I've been meaning to read this book for so long. It is insane. And finally, I did it. I am so very proud of myself. This book, it kind of is a murder mystery meets romance kind of thing. You follow basically 2 different stories. One is the murder mystery and the other one is the romance, but they intertwine. I did not really like it. And listen, I know this book is one of the most popular books in the entire planet. Everybody has heard of Where the Crawdads Sing, and I understand. I, however, was just very, very bored reading it. I rated it 3.5 stars. The ending was amazing, and the ending really got me, and it was the reason why I rated it 3.5. I kind of knew where the ending was going, but that didn't stop me from loving it. It was one of those endings that even though I kind of figured, it still shocked me. That's how you know it was a good ending. I just didn't care for the story much. I loved Kaya, and I thought she was amazing and deserved the entire world. The entire first half of this book is setting up for what's going to happen in the second half. So you get so much of the setup and of the setting of the marsh. You get to know the marsh so well, where every leaf is. It's so much nature. It is so much explaining that I was so bored and I wanted to DNF so badly, but I was like, no, I gotta finish this book. I'm gonna make it to the end. And so I did. If it wasn't so much explaining what nature looks like, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. The murder mystery part of it all was very cool, and the romance was okay. I didn't love the romance, but it was good. And I did like to learn about Kaya's life. It's just that I was bored, like I said. Those are pretty much my only thoughts on this. I'm so sorry. I know that everybody loves this book, and I'm very scared to say that I don't, but but there it is. It's out there. You know, we're not all gonna like the same books. Okay? I'm so sorry. If somebody tells me they don't like my favorite book, I get so offended. So I completely understand if you guys are mad at me. So remember that I was saying I was going through Taylor Jenkins Reid books. So I read One True Loves. I said the other one was super unique. This one is very unique too. Everything I'm going to tell you is in the back of the book. So do not worry. There are no spoilers here. This is just literally what the story is about. It's just a summary. Basically in this book, you have Emma Blair and she marries her high school sweetheart, Jesse. And she is very happy until one day on their anniversary, Jesse goes on a helicopter ride for a job and then never comes back. And he is presumed to be dead. So Jesse, bye-bye Jesse. Very tragic, very fucking sad. And Emma has to pick up her life. So she is dealing with the grief of losing her husband and she moves back home to be with her parents and for years is trying to pick her life back up until one day she runs into an old friend Sam and she falls in love again. Until one night she's at dinner with her parents, her sister and Sam, her now fiance, and her phone rings and when she answers it, who is it? It's fucking Jesse. He wasn't dead. He's not dead. He's coming home. But now what? And that's basically what this book consists of. One True Loves. It is the only love triangle book I've ever read that I actually adored. 5 stars. I loved every second of this book. Could not put it down. I was so torn between these two guys as well. I have a favorite. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to say if I'm happy or sad with the ending and like you guys could guess by my favorite. You know, I don't want to give anything away, but I was very content with the ending. Bittersweet, happy ending for me. As usual with Taylor Jenkins Reid, it gets you to think and it gets you wondering, what would I do in this situation? There are always gray areas. Not everything is black and white. Those are the themes that Taylor Jenkins Reid really explores. And this book is not any different than that. I loved it. And the quotes in this book, y'all, magnificent. Let me read you my favorite. Ready? Think of all the people in the world, and I was lucky enough to find you twice. Are you joking? Yes, I adored this book. Definitely go read this when you're in the mood to have a heartbreakingly beautiful story. You will not regret it. Incredible. 5 stars. Next up, y'all, I had the pleasure of reading Book Lovers by Elsie. Thank you so much for sending me the arc. I'm hyperventilating. Thank you. And this book was everything and more, y'all. I don't want to tell you a single thing about this book because I refuse to give any hints as to what this book consists of because I want you all to just go into it as excited and as blindly as I did. So let me just read what the summary says on Goodreads because then I am safe and I will not spoil anything. One summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away, with visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics in the meadows or run-ins with handsome country doctor or a bulging 4-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet-cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. This was 5 stars. Of course, this was Emily Henry's best book in my opinion. I adored every second of it. Nora Stevens was unlike any heroine I've ever seen. She was so relatable. I feel like we could all see a little bit of ourselves in her. And Charlie was also amazing. Their enemies to lovers banter was everything. The fact that she's a literary agent and he's an editor, so they both work in the book field, and there's a lot of books involved inside this book, was just amazing. The atmosphere of, you know, small town in North Carolina was incredible. The writing was so amazing and easy to read and easy to get through. You just wanted to keep reading. Everything about it was incredible. Y'all, go pre-order Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It comes out May 3rd and you need your hands on it. As soon as it comes out, you need to read it because it was incredible. Amazing. And that brings us to our final 5 books. I'm going to talk about the final 5 together because they are part of a series. And thank you so much to Sapphire Lost 94 for getting me this physical copy of the Mindfuck series. Y'all, so there are 5 books within this book. The books in order are The Risk, Sidetracked, Scarlet Angel, All the Lies, Painted All Red. Those are the 5 books. And I read this all yesterday. It was a nice Sunday morning and I was like, let me just start the Mindfuck series. Well, I finished it all in one sitting because I could not stop. This was one of the most amazing series I've ever read in my life. It deserves every single second of the hype. It is fucking-nificent, y'all. So this book follows Lana Myers and she's set out for revenge. She's killing men who have done her wrong. And there's an FBI agent named Logan Bennett and he is a profiler who specializes in serial killers. So he's trying to hunt down this serial killer who is killing men, except he doesn't know that that serial killer happens to be his girlfriend, Lana. Yeah! An FBI serial killer romance, y'all. These books were everything. This series is everything. I could not stop. All the books are very small, so you can just like binge through them all. They're all less than 200 pages. It just captivates you every second of the story. I rated all of the books 5 stars. The entire series 5 million stars. For sure comes down to these 2 as my favorite reads of this month. The entire Mindfuck series and Still Beating. Nothing would come close. Incredible. Just go read the Mindfuck series. Just go do it. Honestly, you will not regret it. Once you learn Lana's story, I have no words. This was very Criminal Minds meets Dexter meets a dark romance all thrown together. That's what this felt like. Definitely search up trigger warnings. It is a very dark, a very deep story worth every fucking second. Just go read it. Again, thank you so incredibly much, Sapphire Lost 94, for getting me the physical copy. She wrote, "Hi, this is my first time sending you something and I really hope you enjoy this twisted series, but if not, that's okay too. Miss Queen, listen, I loved every second. It just showed up at my house Saturday and instantly I was like, I'm gonna read this. I regret nothing. I regret nothing." Yes, that's it, Shawty Baes. Those are the 18 books I read this month. Let me know what you read, what your favorites were, what you rated each thing. And always remember that whatever you read this month is amazing, whether you read 0, 1, 5, 15, 45, however many books you read. It is totally fine. It is totally up to you. Reading is always supposed to be fun and it is supposed to be just a hobby that we all adore and can share together. So never compare your reads to anybody else's. If somebody else read 50 books this month, that's amazing for them. If you read 5, that's amazing for you. You know, always remember that. Let me just make sure you guys know that these were my 2 favorite reads of the month. Still Beating and the Mindfuck series. Never forget, because I will be shoving these down your throat nonstop until you read them. So might as well just do it now. You know what I mean? So that it can save me the hassle. I love you, Shawty Baes. I hope you have a great day.